Hello viewers, Maswera saying, I'm very sorry because of my network. I'm failing to constantly come up live. So I have a lot of issues to discuss, but I don't know if it is sabotage or what is happening because all of my networks, be it you're using Econet, you're using Net1, you're using um, Tel1, all of those networks, they're constantly down. So I'm still working to find alternative networks. But I'm hoping that I will be able to come up live time and again. So we want to talk about the uprisings in the two nations called Japan and Sri Lanka. So the Prime Minister of Japan was shot dead, and nobody expected it to happen. And it changed the political thinking of people. Nobody thought that in Japan people would just assassinate a leader just like that. So if we go on to Sri Lanka declared itself bankrupt. Zimbabwe is in fact ahead of Sri Lanka in terms of inflation rate. The inflation in Zimbabwe is so bad, more than Sri Lanka, because Zimbabwe is on number one, followed by Sri Lanka, going down. But Sri Lanka declared itself bankrupt, and they declared themselves not able to run their government properly. And the youth of Sri Lanka went into the streets. They occupied the streets. They took over the state house of Sri Lanka. This is a clear message to the dictators in Africa. This is a clear message to the dictators in Zimbabwe, that the fact that youth are not rising up is because the leaders understand that they need to take this country democratically. They need to understand that the young people of Zimbabwe today, they are ready to take Zimbabwe by any means. The reason why they are not taking Zimbabwe by any means is because they want to go through an election that is next year. That is the reason why young people of Zimbabwe are not taking the country by force. They want to wait for an election. So the leaders we have today must understand that rigging elections is not going to work. Rigging elections, intimidation, arresting our own people, beating our own people, political violence is not going to work. Why? There are so many avenues to bring the much needed democracy in Zimbabwe. So they need to tread cautiously. This is the reason why they are in panic. This is the reason why they are trying by all means to make sure that there is enough police presence to make sure that they thwart any possibility of an uprising. So when you hear President Chamisa, you would understand that this man knows what is happening, knows the power he holds. If he just says Sabata, it is going to be chaos. So I believe that these leaders, they know very well. That is the reason why they don't want to touch Advocate Nelson Chamisa personally. That is the reason why they target his lieutenants. And they cannot point at him directly. But I hope and believe that the youth of Zimbabwe, the young people of Zimbabwe are going to take notes from what happened in Sri Lanka, are going to take notes from that peaceful revolution which had the Prime Minister resigned, he left office because the youths were there telling him, Kutayo, enough is enough. You cannot continue to hold office while you have sent everybody home. You have declared the country unrunnable. You have declared the country bankrupt. Everything no longer functions. So you can actually see that Zimbabwe, at the point we are right now, we just need leaders who think, leaders who see that this situation we have is not going to be solved by politicking, is not going to be solved by violence. We need leaders who are going to realize that they have run out of ideas. Leaders who are willing to step down and let others lead. That is what we need. They felt there are no prospects that they are going to change anything. There are no prospects that they are going to bring any better Zimbabwe. So, Team Zimbabwe, this is a clear message to say We really need to keep these leaders on toes. What is happening all over around the world? What is happening? The change of governments which are happening right now, they are no longer coups. These are now people getting into the streets. These are now people taking charge of their future. So I don't hope to see the people of Zimbabwe getting to such levels. I don't hope to have our leaders exiting power in such an embarrassment event. This is the reason why we are telling them to say, hold free and fair election, release political prisoners, make sure that you don't beat us, make sure that you allow us to speak, make sure that you stop looting, you stop plundering the resources of this nation. This is the message we are sending to them. Yet they arrest us, yet they kill us, yet they beat us, they do all sorts of things. Look at what happened. What happened? The people retaliated. Look at what happened. There was of him to arrest the person properly. He started beating that person. And the people responded and said, "Aungorovi mun." So if you check all those things happening, these are clear messages. And ZANU PF is aware of those things. That is the reason why they are trying by all means to make sure that they intimidate the people. This is the reason why they've made sure that every leader who is influential must be behind bars. This is a way of trying to reduce the people around Nelson Chamisa in a bid to try and contain the situation. But one day, if they continue with this path, one day we are going to hear the bad news. But the bad news might be the good news. So, Team Zimbabwe, we must be prepared. Anything. We might get to 23, but we might not get to 2023. What the government of Zimbabwe will do shall give us a clue if we are going to get to 2023 or not. Because we have the people power. We have everything it takes to deliver change in Zimbabwe. If they continue with this way of persecution, of beating us, of arresting our people, one day somebody will get tired and will say, enough is enough. And will just say, guys, let's liberate ourselves. The reason why people went to war for the liberation struggle was to bring a better Zimbabwe, an equal Zimbabwe, was to end cohesive measures which were put in place, was to end inequality. So if this continues, if the I apologize. My network is so bad. I don't know what's happening, but I hope, believe the message is delivered. But the leaders in Africa, they are panicking. Go to South Africa. People like Post, they're panicking. Go to every country in Africa where they are, and they're trying by all means to close the net. They're trying by all means to retain power by any means possible. Hence the arrest of our leaders, hence the persecution of our leaders. So I don't want to take it much longer. I want to end here, and I'm going to beg so that we can talk more about the persecuted leaders like Honorable Josie Kala and others who are in prison. But in Sri Lanka and so have shown the leader that youth can do anything. So if somebody says our leaders will cry, so they need to make sure that they deliver a free and fair election. We are waiting for a democratic election. They must afford us that chance to have a free, fair, democratic election. That is what we need. We don't need to take power by any means. We need to take power through the elections, through the constitutional measures which are in the constitution. But if they deny us that, if they deny us an opportunity to have elections in Zimbabwe, what will happen next? Even President Chamisa does not know what will happen. So they have tried to put their commissioners within ZEC. They tried to put their people within ZEC. We now have 4 commissioners linked to ZANU PF Leaders. This is a referee now playing this match. This is a referee who is now part of the nation. And they hope and believe to win elections in 2023. They hope and believe to rig elections in 2023. They are not going to allow. The people will decide. The economy is so bad to the extent that nobody is going to vote for ZANU. They will try to coerce our people. They will try to get our people to force Masabuku. But it is not going to work. It is not going to work like that. So this time around, this is the time, this is the correct time to make sure that we define our future as Zimbabweans. So Zimbabwe, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your support. I hope and believe that we will manage to find a more stable internet, or we will manage to see how we can go against the internet and continue protecting life. Thank you very much.